Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about solving two-step equations. They're called two-step equations because all of them require two steps to solve. So let's look at this one here. Negative 3x plus 5 equals 2. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to get rid of this negative, or this plus 5 right here. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. Okay, so this is going to go away. I'm going to be left with negative 3x equals negative 3. Then I'm going to go ahead, step 2, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. This is going to go away. X equals 1. Now it's probably a good idea to check my answer here. So I'm going to take the 1, I'm going to plug it in right there. I would get negative 3 times 1 plus 5 equals 2. And this is negative 3 plus 5 equals 2, and 2 equals 2. So it works. Okay, here's a couple problems for you to do. They're going to work just like this one. So take a second, pause the video, solve these two problems, and then jump back on and check your answers. Okay, so in this first one here, 2x plus 8 equals 24. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8 from both sides. And I'm going to get 2x equals 16. There's my first step. My second step, I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals 8. So if I check my answer, I take 8 and I put it back in here. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 8 is 24. So I'm good to go. Okay, over here, on this one, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So I'm going to get negative 5x equals negative 30. And then my next step is going to be to divide both sides by negative 5. And I'm going to get x equals 6. So I'm going to take 6, I'm going to substitute it back in here. Negative 5 times 6 is negative 30. Add 3 to that, I get negative 27. So I've checked my answer again, and it works. Okay, this one looks a little scary because it's got fractions in it. Okay, so we're going to treat it just the same way we did before. I've got x over 8 equals 1 half minus, or I'm sorry, x over 8 minus 1 half equals negative 7 halves. So I'm going to add 1 half to both sides. And so I'm going to get x over 8 is going to equal, this is negative 7 halves plus 1 half is going to be negative 6 halves. Okay, now this I can simplify to be 3. So this is x over 8 is going to equal negative 3. Okay, step number 2. I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by 8. And this is going to go away here, and I'm going to get x equals negative 24. So if I check my work and I put negative 24 in here, I get negative 24 divided by 8, that's negative 3. Subtract another half, that's negative 3.5, which is equal to negative 7 halves. So I win. You're going to take a minute, pause the video, and do this problem right here. M divided by 2 plus 6 is 10. So go ahead and pause the video, solve this, and jump back on and check your answer. Okay, first step should be to subtract 6 from both sides. You get m over 2 equals 4. And now my second step is going to be to multiply both sides by 2. This cancels here. I get m equals 8. If I take 8 and plug it in here, I get 8 divided by 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10. Okay, now there is another way you could do this problem. If you multiplied this by 2 to start with. You can do it that way, but you got to make sure you do it right. So if you're going to multiply by 2, you got to multiply the entire equation by 2. Otherwise, this doesn't work. So 2 cancels that, 2 leaves you with m. 2 times 6 is 12, and that equals 20. Okay, and then I go ahead and I can subtract 12 in my second step, and m is 8. So, either way, I got 8. I don't recommend doing this. I suggest you do it this way. Okay, 3y minus 8y is 25. Check your answer. Okay, so we're going to solve this. We're going to go ahead and let's get this interesting crapple color here. First thing I want to do is I got like terms here. So 3y minus 8y is negative 5y. And that equals 25. So there's my first step on this one. My second step would be to divide by negative 5. And y would equal negative 5. If I check my answer by taking this and plugging it in, I would need to plug it in 2 places. 3 times negative 5 minus 8 times negative 5 should equal 25. So 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. These 2 negative signs cancel out and make plus 40. That should equal 25, and of course this does equal 25. So it's correct. Okay. So here we've got an interesting problem. We've got a couple things here. Let's kind of brighten some things up with some color here. So we've got this distance right here is h. And then we've got this distance right here is 10 times h. Let's see, this distance right here is negative 10. And then finally, this distance right here is negative 100. Okay, so that's just on the drawing. It says the height at the top of the roller coaster hill is 10 times the height h of the starting point. So you're going to start right here. That's a height of who knows how many feet. You're going to go up to 10 times that height off the ground. Then you're going to drop down 100 feet, and you're going to end up at the bottom at negative 10 feet. So we're going to find h. Okay, so here's what we know. We know that 10h, okay, excuse me. We know that 10h minus 100 is going to equal negative 10. We get that off the picture. So here's 10h. We drop 100 feet from the top. We end up at negative 10. Okay, so here's our problem. We're going to go ahead and solve that. We're going to add 100 to both sides. So 10h equals 90. Then our second step is going to be to divide by 10, and h is going to be 9 feet. Okay, so if we take this and we plug it into this problem, we get 10 times 9 is 90, minus 100 is negative 10. So there you go. Here's the problems that you're going to get to do in class. And I will see you next time, guys.